Hi everyone, it is Han from I Deserve Couture, and today we're going to talk about the pre-fall collection by Louis Vuitton by Pharrell, and this is his second collection for the house. His first collection was in June this year, which was his debut collection. I do have a video about that on my channel also. Now before we continue, I'm going to ask you to subscribe to the channel because that is what you do on YouTube. By the way, I did not shave for this video, so if I'm giving you butch today, that was intentional. So let's talk about the show. The show took place on the Avenue of Stars in Victoria Harbor in Hong Kong. Now, if you're wondering why Hong Kong, there's actually a couple of answers. The collection is having this connection to Hong Kong and Hawaii, which I'm going to explain later. But another answer is the fact that Hong Kong is having a rebirth post-COVID-19. As you know, COVID-19 hurt so many sectors, from tourism to luxury retail. But according to WWD, Hong Kong's retail sales in the first 9 months of this year rose 18.6% compared with the same period last year. What does this mean? Hong Kong was saving money and they're going to make it rain on these stores. This is probably one of the reasons why they went there, which is a smart business decision. And from what I remember, I think Dior Men is also going to have their next show in 2024 in Hong Kong. Another inclusion with Hong Kong comes from the show notes. So Pharrell's reoccurring theme seems to be traveling and connecting two different places together. When he joined Louis Vuitton and had his first show in Paris, there is a term that he added to Louis Vuitton lexicon, which was created by Virgil Abloh, and it says VA to Paris, which stands for Virginia to Paris. Virginia is the place where Pharrell was born. The debut show was held at the Pont Neuf Bridge, which is the most famous bridge in Paris, I believe. So for this show in Hong Kong, he created a new route, which is Hawaii to Hong Kong. So what is between Hong Kong and Hawaii? Well, the ocean. The element of water is represented in so many different ways. Be it in the beginning of the collection where they had a lot of the looks that were inspired by sailors, and then you have the set itself, which was a huge screen that mimics sand and the beach waves. The models were like Jesus himself. They walked on water. Not literally, figuratively, but you get the point. And after that, the collection has a lot of the looks that were inspired by scuba suits and the surfers, and to close it off with the very graphic Hawaiian shirts. As far as the location goes, the location does have the significance to it. According to the show notes, the dock is noted as the epicenter of cultural exchange and has been a part of a call for seafarers all around the world since the 15th century. The location really was beautiful. It had a beautiful skyline. Also, if you needed another proof that this is all about like sailing and boats and everything else about the water, there was a huge Louis Vuitton boat with a huge mainsail in blue with LV logo. Now when we got the set and meaning of the set out of the way, let's talk about the clothes and Pharrell's impact on Louis Vuitton so far. I do have to say, when it comes to Pharrell and Virgil, the connection is there. He is pulling inspiration from Virgil, which I really do enjoy, but he's looking into other things that Louis Vuitton can offer. For example, the first and second collection have this lover's motif, which I believe is going to be a reoccurring theme with him, and I feel like it's slowly becoming a symbol of his menswear. And it's everywhere, from the promotion on Instagram to the logo being written on the varsity jackets in this collection. And then when you look at it, this logo includes two logos of Louis Vuitton, LV, and then the 4-point star inside of a diamond logo. And I do like the fact that he's looking past the LV logo that we all know. Like, the other logos are instantly recognizable with the brand, so I think that he's going to take a different approach in future. And of course, keep the same LV logo, but give a spotlight to the other logos. And then the other logos are very well represented in this collection. For example, if you look at this look, the flowers on it are the Louis Vuitton flowers. He's not just like throwing flowers out there, he's throwing Louis Vuitton flowers at you. And then the star logo, you can see a lot of that star logo on the necklaces. Now, since he's exposing these other logos a lot more, what I would love to see is a collection where LV logo is being replaced by other logos. Of course, keep the LV logo there. I would just love to see the collection that just shifts them all around. But if you put the flower where LV logo is and LV logo where the flower is in a smaller font, I think that would be interesting. But he's also trying new stuff, especially when it comes to his opening look, which was a little bit of a shocker for me, because the LV logo is again different than the one that we know of. It's a bit bold for an opening look to have somewhat of a different type of a logo than people are used to. The logo on the suit is very subtle. And then you have oversized speedy bag, which already pissed off so many people on the internet, and I love that it did, because he's selling the millionaire speedy bag, which do cost $1 million. And so far, that is the item that he's best known for. And I love when somebody pisses off fashion people. I think it's so funny. Even though I would love to see more of his bag implemented in a collection, there was one new bag in this collection from what I know. But in my opinion, he's playing with Louis Vuitton in a very successful way. For example, I like his interpretation of the theme if you look at this look. look. The theme is about traveling, sailors, water, and this look gives you the fishing net. But instead of the fish, this person caught a lot of LV logos. These are the stuff that I really do enjoy to see when you bring the theme and the house coats together. Other looks that definitely stole my heart when it comes to this collection are these two suits, because from afar and from the video when you see it, you don't realize that these are not white striped suits. These are actually pearls, which also makes complete sense because pearls come from the ocean, and I'm sure that there's a lot of pearls on the way from Hawaii to Hong Kong. But there were many other successful looks, like the varsity jackets, especially this one. It is a right balance of so many elements in this. Personally, I am a very difficult sell when it comes to Hawaiian shirts. I legit have one, and that is just because we were supposed to go to Hawaii and we bought one. I think every collection that has the sailor hat, I don't know why, but immediately wins my heart. I think of Dior, I think it was 2010 with Carly Kloss. Okay, funny story. The first magazine I ever bought was Vogue. The reason why I bought it was not actually because I wanted the magazine. So I took the magazine and started flipping pages. And the lady that was working there, she's like, put that down, that is expensive, you're going to damage it. I think the magazine at that time was around like $10 or something like that. And I was super careful with it just because I was broke as hell. But what she did not know is that that day was a payday. So I was feeling high and mighty. So I'm like, you know what? I can pay for that. So I took that magazine, slapped it on the table, and I said, I'll take this. So that was the first Vogue magazine that I bought. And if you want the picture, it was actually this one. This was Vogue Runway before Vogue Runway ever existed. I would love to find a copy of this. I'm gonna go on eBay and try to find it. But let's go back to Louis Vuitton. Overall, was it a cohesive collection? Yes. In my opinion, it was a good collection for Pharrell. And I have to be honest, his debut was very strong for me. I know that a lot of people are going to agree or disagree with me on that one, but I have to keep reminding myself that this is a pre-fall collection. For me, the theme makes sense, and the execution of the theme does make sense. You can see in the small details where his mind was. And when you see some of these looks, it's not that difficult to figure out what's the theme of the collection. From the sailor bucket hats, to shell motif, to pearls, to Hawaiian shirts, to model wearing ukulele, which is the symbol of Hawaii. There's a nice transition from tailor suits to sailor suits to scuba looks to Hawaiian looks. Is there a lot of Louis Vuitton in scripture? Yes. But at this point, it is something that I'm expecting from Louis Vuitton. Virgil was very keen on that stuff, and he did create other house codes now. As much as I love Kim Jones and his approach to Louis Vuitton, Virgil is a complete opposite of him also. And I think that Pharrell is trying to continue what Virgil did. Now in Pharrell's clothes, I can see a lot of Virgil's influence, but there is also one more designer whose influence I can see, and that is Nigo, who is the creative director of Kenzo right now. From what I understand, Pharrell loves Nigo and his eye for fashion. And if I'm not wrong, in one of the interviews that I read, Pharrell was talking about his start in Louis Vuitton, and I remember that he said that he suggested one person to take over Louis Vuitton before he became the creative director, and that was Nigo. So I can see a little bit of his language also. I mean, it's a great influence to have. Now let's be honest, Louis Vuitton's bread and butter are the bags. I'm curious to see how his bags are going to sell. Now overall, I think that the references that you see in the collection to the theme are very much on point. It tells me that people were thinking about what they're doing. They didn't just throw a couple of looks together and just sent it down a runway. Also, to close this show, what they did so beautifully is that they used drones, and the first formation of drones was in the shape of a boat, then a couple of other things, and then it closed with a huge LV sign, but actually turned out to be lovers, as we were talking previously in the video. The coolest thing is that when the show ended, these drones were leaving that lovers formation, and then you can see all this movement from the drones as the show was finishing. Now with all this being said, I just want to hop on here and talk about the Louis Vuitton show just a little bit, because in my opinion, it was a pretty good and solid show. Pharrell knows how to create an event. He knows how to create a moment, be it with his clothes or styling or the event itself. I mean, honestly, Louis Vuitton does have the budget for it, so why not do it? So far, in my opinion, he's doing a good job with Louis Vuitton. I think when the numbers come in, we're going to have a better indication of how well this is going. Now, with all that being said, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I hope you're having an amazing day. I'm going to talk to you soon. Stay amazing. By the way, lighting? Today, girl, you know what? I'm gonna do another video.